Well, that's why they call it an exhibition game. I thought there were some really good things that we did, and there were some um, really poor things that we did. I felt like we got out and ran. I'll take the negatives first. I didn't think we guarded anybody. The second half, we were a little better. That was very disappointing. The defense that we played, um, we didn't rebound the ball very well. But when you don't play good defense and you let teams penetrate on you, you never rebound the ball as well because they're either getting layups or they're getting penetration and other people help. So I understood that. I was actually very impressed the first half offensively. I thought we moved the ball well. I thought we got a lot of good shots. We missed some early, then we made a bunch later on and got a good lead. I think when the ball movement I thought was great. When you have 24 assists on 27 baskets, we had 14 blocks. I don't know how that happened. We're not a shot blocking team. And we only had 8 turnovers. So those were the serious positives. The negatives are the free throw line. We've worked so hard on that. And I feel bad for Cohen because he's shot the living daylights out of it in practice. So I'm not as concerned that that'll be a consistent thing. But if you make some of those free throws early, you're a lot better. I thought we had some really good 3-point opportunities, and I think we're a better shooting team than we were last year. And yet we didn't make some really good shots. We tried to play a lot of people. Jordan, who's been playing real well, probably played the least amount of minutes that we're hoping he would play. We probably were trying to get him up to 12 or 14. But other than that, we kept it pretty much what we thought we would. And, if you look at the bottom stats, 34 to 30 paint points, which isn't great. We should be better than that. Points off turnovers, 13 to 3. That's very good. Fast break points, 24 to 9. That's very good. Bench points, 19 to 11. That's pretty good. And then the second chance points, they outdid us 13 to 6. And that's because we didn't guard anybody. They went to the basket. When they missed, they got rebounds and put them back. So we'll have some fun the next couple of days. I feel like for the first time I could bring those pads back. Maybe the Michigan week would be a good time to bring them out. And but I'm going to guarantee you we straighten that out. Okay, questions.
Tom, watching from the bench, was it a player or a rotation that you had in there that really impressed you in this game?
Yeah, that's a good question. I have to look at the film because I'm not positive, but sometimes we had all 5 freshmen or new guys in there, and that's not healthy right now. In all fairness, Kerr looked like a kid that hadn't played, much the first year, and then he played a little better. I thought Jesse played a little better down the stretch after him not playing. I thought most of our 4 guys that have played a lot, and then the new guys coming in, it is hard to get a rotation, but it was hard last year too, and that's going to take a little time. Unfortunately, we got some big games early, so we'll have to get that down, but I'll know more after I look at the film. I didn't really have a feel. Did you? Anybody you thought? No.
Hey, Tom, I know it's an exhibition, but pregame, Coach TK had the trio out, Trey, Divine, and Jordan. What do you think today was like for them, and what would you want them to get from today?
Yeah, if you really think about it, that's tough to come in. And, they were nervous. I don't care what they do. And in all honesty, I thought they did okay. I just didn't think they played hard enough. But when you're thinking and probably looking in the stands and wondering where you are and all those things, it probably mentally is a little challenging for you for the first time. That's why I'm glad we're going to UConn, because that'll be a hornet's nest and everything that'll happen there, and that'll be good for us too. So, I didn't think anybody was awful. I was just disappointed that we missed some layups. We missed some free throws. If those 2 things make a 10-point game, a 20-point game, we got to do a better job of that. And I will do a better job of that. But we got to get after it defensively and on our rebounding, and that's what the next 5 practices will be about.
Two things. One, the defensive side of it. The rim protection, though, that you had tonight between Cohen and the bigs. I guess how much does that help alleviate that? And the second part for you with the rotations. How do you? I mean, when you get into this competitive environment and you want to see different things, I guess. How did you gauge you guys did with that?
Doug and I, we talked about it on the bench. You're exactly right. We had lineups we wanted to see, but you see them out there, then all of a sudden somebody's tired, and all of a sudden you got 5 brand new guys out there. It's not healthy for good things, but so, I wouldn't grade us much higher than I graded the kids defensively, our rotations. But we got out of what we want. Everybody played. The only one that didn't play enough minutes was Jordan Scott. The other guys all played minutes we thought and hoped they'd play. And, maybe Jesse a few more. But, I thought, as I said, Cohen looked in great shape to me. I think Jeremy's in very good shape. I just think he's got to be more tenacious. When he turned it up defensively, that's when we turned it up and we started running. And that's what he's got to do. As I always say, the head goes, the body follows. Yeah, the rim protection, that's the good and the bad. Why are they getting in there? We don't play that kind of defense where we're overplaying. We play more of a gap defense, and those guys shouldn't be getting to the rim. But the ground on the break and that Cohen covers, a couple times I caught myself saying, damn. It was pretty impressive. So thank God he's on my team. But how many blocks did he end up with? 5, yeah. That's pretty good, and he had 4 assists. That's one thing Cohen is doing better. And Jeremy had 9 assists, 2 turnovers. That was damn good, too. There's one thing Cohen's been doing better is passing the ball. So I really enjoy and like how he's playing right now if he makes those free throws.
Hey, Tom, in the middle. Sticking with that topic, going into the season, you're looking for a go-to guy and, who will emerge. I think they had their 7-0 run or whatever it was that tied the game. You guys needed a bucket. Cohen gets the dunk. Is that what you're looking for out of him when you need a bucket? Maybe he's the guy that gets it. And then just his all-around game.
Yeah, I think getting Cohen with his hands on the ball now has been so much better because he can drive it. He can pass it. I mean, we all know he's not a great shooter yet. He's improved it a lot, but he can drive it, he can pass it, he doesn't make many turnovers. And so maybe the ball in his hands. I think normally we would have liked to pounded it in a little more. They doubled the post. They played a lot of zone. So it was a little harder to do that. And, we'd still like to go in there because we think Jackson and Coop are so much better offensively than they were. I mean, Jack's had 15 points, 10 rebounds, and I thought 3 of the 4 threes were wide open, and I feel comfortable with him shooting them. But Konkar is, that was a good debut for him. If he would have made 6 out of 8 free throws, I'd be hugging and kissing him, but I can't do that when he made 3 out of 8. And yet I can tell you that we work on it every day in practice. We worked on it last night. He shot 88% last night. We have our guys shoot the night before a game, and he was phenomenal. So he'll get over that. I don't look at that as that's something he's nervous about. But boy, he did a great job taking the ball to the basket, getting fouled, getting to the free throw line was impressive too.
Tom, on your right, curious with the level of competition you're playing. Like you talked about the next few days that are going to be pretty tough practices, but the sort of level of grace that you give for a performance like that when it's the first time you're throwing guys together and there's all these combinations. Where do you measure that?
God, I measure it that you're doing a better job of giving my guys a break than I am. So I like that. But, I really wasn't disappointed with everything. You can't mix and match guys like that the first time. If you remember last year, that was a real game and we didn't play great. And by the way, I give Todd credit. I mean, he is a good coach. They've got a couple of really good players. I mean, we couldn't guard Towns, with a fishnet, And so he did a good job, but under the circumstances of trying to get guys in and out, we get a little run and we said, let's give some other guys a chance because we need to see our guys right now. That's not always great. I mean, last year, it's easier with a center. We had Shimon in there, but the only other guy that really hadn't played much was Jace, and he just is such a high IQ, easy flow of the game kind of guy that it was easy with him. These guys will struggle a little bit for a while, and that's why we got to get them better. So we got to coach harder, and we will.
Tom, I was wondering about Jeremy's shooting. He's only made multiple threes in the game once in his career, went 2 for 4 today. Seemed to be shooting with confidence as well. How much has he been working on that? And if he's able to be a guy who can kind of shoot that with volume, how big would that be?
I feel comfortable with Jeremy shooting open threes now. Not off the dribble, but those kickouts. I feel very comfortable with him. And I still feel very comfortable with Cohen at the line. Those were two things that last year I didn't feel as comfortable with. So I told you that the guys will improve in some things in the offseason. I think Jeremy has improved a lot in that area, And as you know, the biggest problem is there aren't many guys that can guard it and score it, I mean, even Cassius, he wasn't great at guarding it, and Mateen was different at scoring it, and so we kind of need him to do both, but I thought his defense was okay. And it's just got to get better because he's at the head of the fire and we need him to. But I was pleased with Jeremy. What I was pleased with most, I asked him this. Jeremy sometimes gets down on himself, then he gets mad at everybody. And I thought he mentally and how he was in huddles, he was phenomenal. And that was a big step that I'll be able to build on.
Tom, it looked like Cohen and Jackson had a great connection tonight. What can that duo do for you when they're at their best?
Yeah, I think that can help us a lot, and it's not easy when you play smaller teams like this that have athletic four-man, and smaller, and you don't get that a lot in our league. So those two guys have played really well together all summer. They have a connection between them. It's good. And they've, I got to give Coop a lot of credit. He has really taken Jesse and Cam under his wing. And, that's the advantage of having some veterans on the team. They've done an incredible job with those guys. Cam's going to be, I was really pleased with Cam because he rebounded a couple times like a man. Now, he got screwed up on a couple of actions, and it's not easy when we're doing some defensive things, and he's just learning them. But I think our bigs are going to be solid as heck. We got to get our guards to guard somebody.
It's funny you mentioned Cam. I ran into Antonio Smith on the concourse today. I don't know if you got a chance to see him, if he was around, or what does it mean like having that arc when you talk about a player like Cam, if you made the comparison to?
I told him Cam's is Antonio with more offensive skills, but if he can defend and rebound and scare the hell out of his coach like Antonio did, it's going to be a hell of a deal because this kid's got some skills. He can shoot the ball. He's a very good passer. I made a couple great bounce passes into the post today. So I'm really pleased with my freshmen. I just, those wings got to get better. And none of them have a lot of experience, Some has experience, but he's been to a few different schools. Some has experience when he was at Miami and Divine, but he only played, 3/4 of a year really. And then, of course, Kerr, didn't hardly play last year. So they're going to get better. And when they get better, we'll get better as long as we get back to defending, rebounding, running, which are staples of our program.
Todd was talking about putting signs up everywhere. The players turned about how they're going to get devoured on the boards. And they had 4 more rebounds in the first half. Is that what they did or what you guys didn't do?
I think he did a great job. I think he did a better job than I did. He said to me he was worried about his toughness and his rebounding early. But again, when you give up penetration, I mean, that's been the staple to why we've led the country in rebounding night after night. But if there's a time not to rebound well, it is in an exhibition game. And like I said, man, maybe I think Jonathan needs all the pads he can get right now, so I won't steal any from him. But we'll get that straightened out. I really believe that.
On the way through the greeting line afterward, you and Tom had a long embrace and a conversation. What did you tell him?
Oh, I love the guy. I told him I love him. I mean, he's everything that's right about college sports. He came from the wrong side of the tracks down in the Bahamas, and he's made himself something academically. He's made himself something as a coach. he's made himself something as a man. And so I really, you know, how much I respect him. I mean, as a freshman, he started on a Final Four team, you know, and as a senior, he didn't start. And he was just as good a teammate as a freshman as he was as a senior. Right now in our world, that's illegal. But he is that guy, and someday I'll get him back on the staff here. Someday. I think.
I know you mentioned it, but 24 assists on 27 shots. I'm just wondering, or 27 makes, I should say. How is that just setting up the offense and keeping it moving?
Yeah, I thought the ball movement was really good. I thought Kerr had some great threes wide open. Jesse had a couple. You know, he made one. Jackson, I thought all three of his were really good shots, and he's been shooting it well. So I don't have a problem with that. And that's why I said, did we shoot it good enough? No. Have we shot it better in practice? Yes. But that's a skill that it's going to go up and down, you know. Defense and the rebounding is a skill that should be consistent every day. So I'm going to keep harping on it here. And yet some of it was some of the lineups we had in there too. I mean, we moved some people around. People were out of position a little bit. And but it gets easier going to UConn now. Danny he probably sat home and watched this game and is salivating right now. But I think it's gonna be great for us, great for them. It'll be a great situation to learn. I really appreciate that we do get to do this. I miss the Division II games because I was a Division II guy myself. But when you have a schedule like we have early, this is really critical that we get to play two teams, two Division I teams, you know, one a good team in the MAC and one a great team in the country. So that'll be nothing but a plus for us. That's it. Hey, Michigan week, baby. Get ready.